What is up, guys? It's the Sound Alchemist, part of One Mind Syndicate, and today we're back to talk about Warhammer 40K. So, of course, you guys probably know the news that the codices for the Gene Stealer cults and the Adeptus Custodes have been delayed due to the global shipping situation going on right now. So if you guys had these planned for some stocking stuffers, wait till early January, because that's when they'll be coming out. But in the meantime, they've been giving us articles over on the Warhammer community page to give us a little bit of insight into how these codices will play in 9th edition. Today I'm looking into that of the Adeptus Custodes and figuring out their rules for their shield hosts and this crazy ability for the katas. Katas I've talked about in a previous video like a day or two ago, and they're basically ways to give the Adeptus Custodes doctrines in general. Space Marines have access to doctrines every turn and basically gives them a boost based on what turn they're at. It'll give them a better assault phase, a better shooting phase, a better melee phase. So that's essentially what these katas are doing for the Custodes, but they're doing it in a super convoluted and complicated way. So let's go ahead and check out the ins and outs of this article, which I'll also have linked in the description below, so we can try and decipher what exactly is going on here. Because I've read and reread these articles a few times, and I don't know if I completely understand it. I think I do, but we'll see. So here we have the Emperor's Chosen shield host fighting style known as the Magna Imperator. So this gives you two traits. The first is that each time a unit with this trait is selected to shoot or fight, you can reroll one hit or one wound roll when making these attacks. That's really good, and that's really powerful. We've seen this for the Salamanders. They get to reroll hits and to wounds, and we know how epic that could make damage and overall the power of your army be. Especially with Custodes. With Custodes, you want to hit hard, you want to hit fast, and this is going to pretty much guarantee that extra hit or that extra wound to turn the tides in your favor. But wait, there's more, because you have a second trait for the Magna Imperator, and that is that each time a model in this unit would lose a wound due to a mortal wound, on a d6 roll of a 4-up, not anymore, you survived. So that's really big, especially if you're playing against a lot of psychic heavy armies, such as the Grey Knights, Thousand Suns, Chaos, because those smites, you have a 50-50 chance of living it. So again, you're playing a small army, so every time a model dies, it hurts. You feel it. So the more armies, or the more model in your armies that you have alive to keep on attacking, especially with the previous trait, you're going to be doing really, really good. And that's going to be most of the time, because you're pretty much going to be outnumbered in all your games, unless you're playing a mirror match. So this fighting style for the shield host is really, really good. Magna Imperator it's going to be tough to beat. To me already, this is probably going to be my get-go. I'm going to be using this 90% of the time. So in the previous video that I talked about the Adeptus Custodes, they have a new thing called martial katas, which like I said are doctrines. Now if you have the Magna Imperator fighting style, you also have access to the Rendax kata, which unfortunately they don't tell us what it is, but it's added in addition to your other katas. So here is a little paragraph that kind of explains it, and like I've said before, I've read it and reread it a few times and I'm still kind of hazy, but let's see if it makes sense. Each fighting style also specifies a martial kata. Once per battle, when you select one of that kata's stances to be active for your army, you can use this ability. If you do so, that kata's other stance also becomes active for your army. So that means that you'll have access to 3 kata stances. That other kata stance does not count as being selected as the active kata stance, meaning that you are not prevented from selecting it in the subsequent command phase, because that's when you use your katas, providing that you already haven't done so. Because again, you can't use the same kata right after So you can't use like kata number 1 and then do kata number 1. You have to go kata number 1, then number 2, then number 3, then back to number 1. And so as long as you follow those, you can still use this ability as long as it wasn't active in your previous command phase. So like I explained it. So it's very convoluted. It is a very wordy way to say you have access to a third kata fighting style stance. And like I said, man, it's it's super stupid the way they're giving us all these things with like made up words. Like, what the fuck is a kata? Why am I even saying that? Like, just tell us it's like fighting stance number 1, fighting stance number 2. Like, don't make it so hard. Like 9th edition really did the opposite of what 8th edition was set out to be. 8th is supposed to make it quick, streamline. And then 9th edition comes in and it's like, hey, you need 30 books. You need to learn a new language. Thanks, GW. But anyway, we have a Dread Host other ability called the Dakatari. Damn, can't even speak these made up words. So basically what the Dakatari is it gives you 2 new stances. Stance number 1 is that each time where an enemy unit piles in or consolidates, as long as they started their movement in engagement range of this unit, you subtract 2 from the distance that unit can move or pile in or consolidate. For stance 2, each time this unit fights, it can use this ability. If it does so, then until the fight is over, you add 1 to your attacks, but your melee damage is pushed down to just a single 1. So more attacks, but only 1 damage, and you're basically keeping your opponent stuck into you. So you can keep doing that damage turn after turn if you go stance 1, stance 2, and then back to 1, back to 2. But again, with the new addition of the fighting styles, you have an additional kata that you could add in as an additional stance. Yeah, I'm right there with you guys. Like, I feel like I'm back in school. Lastly, we have another shield host fighting style, the Gilded Guardians. For their first trait, we have core units with this trait are eligible to perform heroic interventions as if they're characters. Pretty cool. Trait number 2. Each time an attack with an armor penetration of -1 is allocated to a model in this unit, that AP becomes 0. Again, making you more survivable, making you be able to deal more damage. It's always a good thing. Now we get to something simpler. We have a new stratagem here, and that is the Shield of Honor, which is a 1 command point stratagem that is only available for the Aquilan shield host of the Custodians. You use this stratagem in your opponent's shooting phase when an enemy unit is selected to shoot. You select one of your Imperium infantry characters from your army, and until the end of the phase, as long as that unit from your army is within 6 inches of a friendly Aquilan shield core unit, then the enemy unit cannot target that Imperium infantry character with ranged weapons. So it's basically a denial way to say to keep your characters alive. It's okay, I guess, for 1 command point. Nothing too awe-inspiring. And then we come to their warlord trait, Sally Forth. At the start of your charge phase, select 1 friendly Solar Watch infantry unit within 6 inches of this warlord. Until the end of the phase, that unit is eligible to charge in a turn in which it advanced. So really cool if you're playing the Solar Watch guys, because now you can move, advance, and charge. Pretty cool. Now, once you do get stuck into combat, if you're still playing the Solar Watch Custodes, then you may want to bring in this relic, the Swift Silver Talon. So the Solar Watch relic replaces a Guardian Spear with the Swift Silver Talon, and it's really good because the bearer can now shoot and charge in a turn in which it fell back. Really awesome ability. At range, it's a range 24, rapid fire 1, strength 4, -2 AP, 2 damage weapon. In melee, it's +2 strength, -4 AP, 2 damage. So here we start to see the damage go from D3 to just a flat 2. More reliable. It's not all about how the dice roll in your favor anymore or against your favor. So we'll see if that becomes a trending thing in the 9th edition codex for the Adeptus Custodes, or maybe it's just the relic that gets that. We'll have to wait and see. And that's pretty much all we have in this article, which again, guys, I greatly recommend you guys to go to the description, click on the article yourself, read it over, and let me know if you understand what the fuck they're talking about, because this is one of the most confusing things I've ever read in 40K, and that says a lot, because 40K isn't the simplest game, but at the same time, it's not like you're double checking what you just read. Like, come on, simplify it, as if the game wasn't hard enough already. And yeah, that's what I got. Hopefully I'll be seeing you guys in the comments. Make sure we're all on the same page here. And that's all I got for today. Thanks for watching, guys. As always, I've been the Sound Alchemist, part of One Mind Syndicate, and I'll be catching you guys in the rest of this month, which is dedicated to the Tau Sember. Peace.